AFR On Demand is brought to you by Breck Golf. Try Beaver Creek today, just 20 minutes from downtown Baton Rouge in the Zachary area. They've got a PGA Tour driving range, a short game practice area, 30 to 40-yard practice shots. It's a great place to chip and putt and practice if you don't have time for a full round. Book your tee time today, golf.breck.org, golf.breck.org.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Raising Cane studio.
Let's ride!
Hour 2. Off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. I'm Matt.
This is Shaq O'Neal, and I hate Matt.
Taylor Sharp. You so. And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. Jakeem Jackson will be in studio here in about 30 minutes from right now, a little less than 30 minutes from right now. Looking forward to talking to the second-year LSU cornerback who's back working with Corey Raymond, Blake Baker's defense, his decision to return to LSU, of course, started his career at Florida, all that stuff. Ton of ground to cover with Jakeem Jackson. We're looking forward to having him in studio. The NFL annual meeting's taking place out in Arizona here early this week, and as is customary, every NFL head coach meets with media while they're there. The first day, it's one of those like round 10 top tables. Sit there and you have breakfast, and all the reporters can sit around and ask coaches questions. They have conversations, and so it's interesting point in the offseason. After season ended, we've gone through this first wave of free agency, second wave of free agency, now sort of eyeing the NFL draft, which is here now less than a month away, as rosters are starting to be put together. And naturally, the biggest questions that remain for New Orleans for their roster for 2026 are current free agents that remain unsigned. So what their futures might be in New Orleans. There's three in particular. It's Alvin Kamara, Cam Jordan, and Chris Olave. Now, Olave is not a free agent, but I'm sure they'd like to get a deal done with Chris Olave here this offseason so he doesn't become an unrestricted free agent after next season. And Kellen Moore was asked if there was any progress on that Chris Olave extension.
Yeah, there's conversations, and that's what this time of year is all about. And so, that's obviously the business side of this thing that inevitably comes up. Everyone's a part of that. Everyone knows those things come up. And so it's just about, a working relationship for everyone just to find what works best for everyone and find a good situation. So, obviously, we know we love Chris, and we're excited about his future.
The Saints love Chris Olave way more than I do. The Spotrac market value projection for Chris Olave is $33 million per season. I wouldn't touch that number for what I think is a number 2 receiver, but it's very clear the Saints think differently about Chris Olave than I do, and they're going to pay him. And with every subsequent receiver contract that's done, the baseline goes up, right? So the average, the market value goes up. So JSN getting his deal, the old saying about rising tide, right? So that's going to cost you more. The longer you wait, it's going to cost you more. So what are the Saints willing to pay? How long is Chris Olave willing to wait? We'll see. Moore was also asked for a timeline on an Olave deal.
Yeah, I think any time, obviously, it becomes a situation where you understand where it's going to be. But again, these timelines are all different. I think it's hard to, trying to say everyone has to follow the same timelines. There's a lot of conversations, a lot of variables that go into those things. We love Chris. It's been a really good conversation, I know, from a business side, and they'll just continue to keep working through that.
I'll remind you that the Saints and Alvin Kamara went through a long stalemate on an extension. That deal didn't get done until October. It was of 2024. But so they signed Alvin Kamara to his extension in October of 24. So, and that, of course, Kamara was having a great 24. He was pacing to have the first 1,000-yard rushing season of his career, and then he got injured, missed the the end of the season and fell just shy, about 50 yards shy of 1,000. And last year, obviously, just didn't produce. So there is precedent for New Orleans. They will do an extension during the season. It's just going to be the right number, because the oddity about the Saints, which we often say, is for the nearly decade of being so fiscally irresponsible with the way that they manage their salary cap and so much dead money and bad contracts, when it comes to free agency, they have their number, and they don't budge off their number. And we've seen players walk for a relative pittance. When you look at, Mark Ingram, when he left for Baltimore, the difference in the contracts was a couple $100,000. It was so negligible. And Ingram and Kamara at that time were a really good 1-2 punch, but the Saints were committed to their number. They did move off of it. And so that discipline is something they have shown in free agency, probably why you're at a little bit of a stalemate right here. Now, speaking of Kamara, Kellen Moore kind of gave the most non-answer answer ever when asked about Kamara and his spot on the team.
Well, yeah, he's certainly on the roster and, part of that running back room, and we feel like there's ways that you can manipulate all those guys and put them in plenty of situations. Again, look at our season last year, look at probably just about every NFL season. Plenty of running backs play. Obviously we feel fortunate that we were able to acquire Travis in free agency, but, there's still a lot of work to be had out there.
He's certainly on the roster. Can you hear that again, just the very beginning about Alvin?
Well, yeah, he's certainly on the roster.
He's certainly on the roster. Yeah, he is. Don't know if he's going to be on the roster at the start of the season. That could be a post-June 1 decision. I think the hardest part the Saints are going to have with Kamara is you're not going to have a suitor for a trade because no one's going to give you an asset to take on that contract. And we know the way the Saints restructured it as Ross Jackson did really a brilliant job over at LouisianaSports.net explaining the very seldom used. I'm not going to get into it. It's way too complicated. To be honest, I don't even really understand it, if I'm just being very, very honest with you. But Ross did an incredible job explaining it in great detail. But the Saints used a very seldom used loophole in the NFL contract structure to restructure Kamara that will give them protections if, in fact, he's not on the team this year. So in any event, I think that's, depending on what happens in the draft, a really strong likelihood that Kamara has taken his last snap for New York. It's not 100%, but they have certainly set the pieces on the chessboard to suggest this could be it for Alvin in New Orleans. Now, I don't think the same is true for Cameron Jordan, who is an unrestricted free agent. He can sign wherever he wants, but so far he's had no suitors. And Kellen Moore was asked if they've had progress in contract talks with Cam.
Yeah, we love Cam. Obviously, we think the world of Cam. And so, again, it's an offseason process. It's a free agency process that every team and player get to have. And so, we obviously will let that process take its course. Obviously, we love Cam. And so we'll see where it takes us, for him as his situation, goes through.
This is just so very clear what's going on with Cameron Jordan. It's the same thing with DeMario Davis. Davis wanted a multi-year deal with guaranteed money. Cam's coming off a season where he had 10.5 sacks. He wants a multi-year deal with guaranteed money. The Saints are not going to do that, nor should they, by the way. If they weren't going to do that for DeMario Davis, who's coming off the 2 best seasons of his career, they're certainly not going to do it for Cam Jordan, who had been declining for 3 years, only to have a nice bounce back this year. But that would suggest that's the outlier. That's the exception, not the rule. Right now, Spotrac has the market value for Cam Jordan, a 1 year, $6.76 million. So 1 year, $6.8 million. And I think that's completely agreeable. You want to sign Cam Jordan to a 1 year, $7 million deal? Okay. And give him an incentive-laden contract where he's got, if he pops another 10.5 sack season, he'll make more money? Okay. But that's up to Cam Jordan at 36 years old. He'll be 37 in July if he wants to play another season under a deal like that, like he just did. As he said, the cents have to make sense. Well, the fact that you don't have any other suitors is telling you the story of what the market is for Cam Jordan. There's not a lot of teams that are willing to invest a multi-year deal with guaranteed money into an aging, declining edge rusher. The last one from Kellen Moore, though, was about the role that Cam could potentially have on this team.
I think those are all just the fun, healthy conversations that we all get to have. And so obviously we love Cam. And I think, he's obviously a free agent's responsibility is to put yourself in the best position to be successful. And so Cam gets to do that. And so that's credit to him and his journey and the performance that he had last year. I thought he did a really good job for us. And so, we'll continue to have those conversations.
So nothing definitive, and I'm not sure that we expected Kellen Moore to give away any trade secrets. But when the head coach goes on the record about 3 very notable veteran players who might, 2 of which might have played their last snap for the New Orleans Saints. Certainly, I think we all think Chris Olave will be re-signed. It's just a matter of when, and he'll be on the team this year no matter what. But those are going to be ones worth watching here as we continue to move throughout this offseason. All right, it's After Further Review. We're brought to you by Our Lady of the Lake, championship health partner of LSU Athletics, OLOLRMC.com/LSU. OLOLRMC.com/LSU, as they often say. Trust isn't given, it's earned. Of course, whenever we look at the LSU baseball Tigers, they know what it takes to win championships. At Our Lady of the Lake, they know what it's like to care for champions, and that's what they do every single day. From the bullpen to the batter's box, from training room to the classroom, LSU baseball athletes trust the lake to help them recover, perform, and stay at their best. It's not just for athletes. From sports medicine to pediatrics, heart care to recovery from everyday injuries, Our Lady of the Lake brings championship-level care to families across Louisiana. So trust the team that cares for the team you love. Our Lady of the Lake and LSU, together we roar. Learn more at OLOLRMC.com/LSU. All right, y'all, it's After Further Review. Glad you're hanging out with us here. Tuesday shows are powered by Sunshine. Big ups to my friends over at Sunshine. They had their grand opening today at the new facility on Pico in Baton Rouge. It's gorgeous. If you drive I-10 between Seagan and Highland, right at the new Pico exit, that's where the newest Sunshine location is. I tell you all the time, bunkie and below, you want a deer, you're going to Sunshine. Yes, they have farm equipment, but they also have tractors and zero-turn mowers and gators and tailgate equipment like your small portable generators. Go check them out at Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. All right, y'all, it's After Further Review. Glad to have you hanging out with us here. Let me knock out a quick break. Jakeem Jackson set to be in studio with us here in a little more than 10 minutes. So we'll knock out a break. We'll come back and continue. Look forward to having the LSU defensive back in studio. Tiger baseball is on the diamond tonight against Southern. We'll give you a quick thumbnail preview of that when we come back. It's AFR.
AFR.
Man, I know we're getting a little bit of rain this week each day that's in the forecast, but the weather is still gorgeous. Actually, today, cloudy, a little overcast, perfect day when you get home from work or kids get home from school to get out in the garden and just plant something. What a great family activity. Get outside, get your hands in the dirt, touch some grass, ground yourself, but also get a little exercise, get a little natural vitamin D, and do something fun for the whole family. Plant that vegetable garden. At Clegg's Nursery, they've got Johnny Naylor seeds, so you want to have that fun time with your family, with your kids. You can watch that garden grow, and you can have garden-to-table vegetables, fresh vegetables from your own garden. Absolutely amazing experience. So make sure you get on by and see our friends at Clegg's Nursery. And oh, by the way, beautiful, amazing blooms arriving daily over at Clegg's Nursery. So you want to add that pop of color this spring or summer, get by and see our friends over at Clegg's Nursery. Buy local, shop local at Clegg's Nursery.
After Further Review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
I just like the fact, like I said, we won in different ways. I thought we moved on from failure and success better this week than we have. And what I'm looking for is consistency in mindset and play. That's the only way you're going to survive, with the schedule that we play. And my hope is that's a step in the right direction. It'll be tested again tomorrow and see how we do with it.
That was Jay Johnson on his coach's show. Mondays on affiliates of the LSU Sports Radio Network, by the way, for us in Baton Rouge. It's our sister station, Eagle 98.1. There was a couple of things that Jay said, and the Tigers are back on the diamond tonight against Southern out at the box before they hit the road to take on Tennessee. And, of course, this begins a stretch where 3 of the next 4 series are on the road. They'll play at Tennessee, at Ole Miss, come home to play A&M, then go at Mississippi State, who's playing about as well as anybody in the country right now. That's not hyperbole. I mean, they swept Ole Miss this weekend on the road, and they look really good there in year 1 under Brian O'Connor. But a couple of things that I think are interesting. Jay Johnson also was asked about the starting lineup and if it feels set. There has been a lot of shuffling, but it may also feel like they're starting to get close to where they've pared down enough to know who they're going to be counting on the weekends.
Well, I will tell you this. After this weekend, we're a lot closer to stable than we've been at any point with this team, and that's not hard to figure out. You mentioned John. Everybody's going to talk about the Grand Slam on Sunday, but that was a key two-strike hit to get the game going in our favor on Saturday. Seth obviously had a terrific weekend. Catching, obviously, we're going to play both of those guys with Omar and Cade. And then, the outfield obviously is set. So we're a lot closer than we've been at any point. I think that's where we need to be, and I'm excited about that.
I think the big change, obviously, is the weekend Dardar had, because second had been a revolving door. And then Dardar this weekend goes and hits 600 and hits the massive homer on Sunday and hits a couple of doubles and leads your team in doubles. You have that type of productive weekend. It's like, okay, well, you can do this against SEC pitching. So go do it. I do wonder, though, if he continues to struggle on the mound. If he continues to struggle defensively, and the offense doesn't follow, he goes back into a hole. Do you start to see that rotate again? So just something worth watching. So I expect Dardar will be at second in the lineup again tonight. See if you can keep him going. But yeah, man, we've talked about it a ton. You invested a lot in the transfer portal into some of these infielders. York, Caraway, Dardar, most prominently, Braden Simpson's in that mix as well. And they just haven't performed consistently enough. Was this weekend sort of a turning point for those guys? It's worth kind of keeping an eye on. He also gave an update on Cade Arrambidi and in his status.
Yeah, Cade has been a big part of our early success too. He was a little bit nicked up Friday, and so he was available. He was on the 34-man roster, took BP Saturday and Sunday, was just kind of limited in his availability. But when we were playing our best early in the year, he was right in the heart of that. And so I didn't really want to take a chance in making a small thing a big thing. And so Omar kind of had to wear it for a couple days. And Cade should be fine. I'm hoping to hopefully get him in the ball game tomorrow night.
So that'd be great to see if Cade Arrambidi returns to the lineup tonight against Southern, as LSU will be taking on the Jags out at the box at 6:30. The one other thing is looking at pitching tonight, and I'm not so concerned about this because it feels like we're at the point in the year, and this happens every year, right? You can watch things unfold in a midweek, and regardless, people will melt if it doesn't go well, but we learn this lesson every year. By the time you get to the postseason, you have pared down your pitching staff to the 7-8 guys that you're going to count on in leverage spots, and then you have your up 10, down 10 guys, right? If the game's out of hand, you just need someone to go throw pitches to save your key arms. That's who goes out there. But I think you could that's complicated now by Cooper Moore's injury. And so you're going to have guys available to eat innings that maybe otherwise you weren't on the weekend that otherwise you weren't counting on. But Kaysen Evans, William Schmidt, will continue being your 1-2 guys. And then the guys out of the bullpen that you're counting on. And it's going to be Cowan and Sheeran and Guidry, although Sunday didn't go great. I think Santiago Garcia's certainly going to be in the mix. And Jay loves Cooper Williams and Maverick Rizzi for several obvious reasons. Just because they give you something so different because of their length, got to be able to throw the ball over the plate. Cooper Williams was very good on Sunday. Maverick Rizzi was not. But the guys that they've identified they can count on. I think I'd throw Grant Fontenot probably in that mix as well as someone who can give you something at the back of a ball game. So is anyone else available to sort of fight their way into a leverage role, especially with Cooper Moore out? Maybe that's the thing worth watching tonight. Does someone go out and pitch so well that they've earned the opportunity to maybe get innings on an SEC weekend? So something to keep an eye on as the Tigers take on the Jags tonight. All right, it's After Further Review. We're brought to you by Parish Restoration, parishrestoration.com. Tell you every day. Kill mold, remove odor. If you've got toxic mold in your home, think you might, call Parish Restoration. They've come and dry fogged homes all over the country and some of the biggest commercial buildings as well. Parishrestoration.com, parishrestoration.com. schools, medical facilities, gyms, workout facilities. It doesn't matter if it's mold, if it's odor, pet odor, smoke odor. They can help you sweat. They can help you get that odor out. The fresh smelling, clean, sanitized space. It's Parish Restoration. Call Jim Woodworth and the gang. They'll come give you that free estimate. ParishRestoration.com, ParishRestoration.com. Log on to the homepage, fill out that information right there on the homepage. You'll be in touch and give you that estimate of what it'll cost to get your space clean, sanitized, mold-free. ParishRestoration.com. That's ParishRestoration.com. By the way, we told you this late last week. We now have a new capability in studio where you can text our call-in line. So it's 225-499-1045. We have a new, and by the way, that is a service. Like I have my text line that I've given out for years here. That's an app that I pay for called Community that's literally on my phone. Now we have the opportunity to text any of our shows here on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. So just save it in your phone. It's like ESPN text line or whatever you want to do, but it's 225-499-1045, 499-1045, 499-1045. The one thing I'll tell you, though, is if you do text that number, the only thing we see is your number. We don't know your name or where you're texting from. So if you text and you want us to say your name on air, then you might want to just leave who it is, right? Like just sign the text as to say who it is or where you're calling from or something like that, or texting from if you want to. So, all right, it's After Further Review. We're glad to have you hanging out with us here. Thanks for being here. Let me knock out a quick break. We will come back. Jakeem Jackson, LSU cornerback, set to join us in studio here on a Tuesday edition of AFR, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
AFR.
GLO, glowresources.com, glowresources.com, complete employer solutions. That's Glow Resources and glowresources.com. Appreciate our friends over at Glow Resources being great partners of ours here on the show. But most importantly, what Glow Resources does is they help businesses become their most efficient and most profitable by helping you find the right people. Yes, they specialize in finding skilled blue-collar labor, welders, pipe fitters, crane operators, heavy equipment operators. They can help you find any skilled blue-collar labor. But also, they have their professional placement division. So if you're trying to fill any office job, they can help you there too. From an office assistant up to the C-suite, Glow Resources can help. And they're not just in Baton Rouge or just in Louisiana. They got offices all over the South, and they help businesses all over the country find people to place in jobs all over the world. So check them out online at glowresources.com. GLO, glowresources.com.
After Further Review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
Open up a throttle and stir a little dust. Just look at her face.
All right, rolling along here on a Tuesday edition of AFR. We are powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. Jakeem Jackson, as I understand, go ahead, Taylor. He's at the door, so Taylor's going to go let him in. He's going to come in studio. Lane Kiffin met with reporters today after practice, the fourth workout of spring practice, and I thought it was interesting. Kiffin talked about just kind of gave an overview of how the early practices of spring are going so far.
I think that practice has gone really well. I think they're really competitive. I think that anytime you go somewhere, it has nothing to do with previous staff. You have a lot of work to do. You have a lot of work to do besides what is the obvious that everybody thinks about roster changes and portal and additions, but how you practice and how players think, to fit into the way that you want things done. So, that's a constant battle for us. So I can see that improving out there. Understanding how to practice. We want to practice really physical, but also protect the team in how that we practice. And that maybe sounds really easy, but it's challenging to get right to that middle spot of how to do that.
There was also a question about retaining Blake Baker, which he's talked about a bunch, but I think the defensive identity question was maybe more interesting to see what this may look like here with, Lane Kiffin now with a new year under Blake Baker.
Play really physical, dominant defense, that creates a lot of havoc and turnovers, but at the same time plays with great discipline. So that's been here before, a number of times. And so, that's a big, big goal to get that back to that style of play that nobody wants to play LSU's defense like it used to be.
Lane Kiffin talking about Blake Baker and that defense. A guy who figures to be a big part of it this year is Jakeem Jackson, his second season with the Tigers. Good enough to join us in studio now. How are you, man?
I'm good. How about yourself?
Doing really good. Thanks for coming in studio, especially on a practice day, man. So what's the day like? You get done with practice, y'all finish around 11:30-ish earlier today, and then what's the rest of the day like?
Yeah, we finished around like 12. Then I had tutoring at 12:30. And I got treatment after. My day was really over after like 3 o'clock for real.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Is that obviously y'all are in school too, so is that pretty much what a standard day is like during football, during spring practice right now?
Yeah, that's how it is every day.
Yeah.
Tuesday, Thursday.
Yeah, man, I appreciate you for coming in studio too, man. It was out there at practice during the little bit that Lane let us go out there and see today, and it looked like for the first time, when y'all start practice, y'all do that. There's like an 11-on-11 period that we get to see, and looked like y'all went dime, and you went and split out wide with the ones. Is it still are y'all still kind of figuring out roles right now, or what do you think y'all have learned about the defense? Only 4 days into spring.
Yeah, we still figuring out like the pieces of what we gonna run and everything, cause we got new players and new people that can play different type of positions. So we still trying to figure things out a little bit.
All right, man. Let's talk about your new coach. Let's talk a little bit about what it's been like with Lane Kiffin out there, man. So, all this went down when he comes in. What were your impressions when all this happened? Right, BK got let go, and then they land Lane Kiffin, and your reaction is what?
I'm like, damn, that's crazy, because I used to see a lot of rumors, but, like, I didn't think he was going to leave for real. And then I forgot when, November or something, or December, when he announced it. I was like, damn, that's actually crazy. Like, that's crazy.
Did you know him at all during your recruitment?
Yeah, he recruited me out of high school and out the portal when I left Florida.
Okay. So what was it like in high school, like whenever his staff was recruiting you to Ole Miss?
Nah, it was cool. Like, I talked to him a couple times. I visited there a couple times, and it was a cool vibe up there. I liked him.
What about, because like the thing about Lane in particular is he's so active on social media, right? Like he's so out there and like out front, but people say he's a little more reserved. What have been your impressions of him, like personally?
I actually like who he is on social media. He not who he is in person. Like, he quiet in person. He just laid back. But on social media, he actually active. Like, he not who he is, like, on social media in real life.
Why do you think it is? It's like that?
I don't even know. That's just probably who he is. But like, if you like in person, you'll probably think like he the same way on social media. But nah, I don't know why he like that. But
yeah. Whenever so when you were at Florida and then you went in the portal, he started recruiting you again. Did you consider Ole Miss at all?
Yeah, I was considering him a little bit, but I just went with my coach. I trusted him the most, so I just went to LSU. It
was Corey.
Yeah.
So look, I mean, we've obviously known Corey a long time, man. He was here at LSU for. I mean, I'm actually getting old now, man. But like, he was here the whole time. Corey was here for the 10 years the first time, and he's basically the godfather of DBU, right? So what was it about playing for Corey that was so appealing to you when you went to Florida?
Yeah, I'd seen that he was a good coach because my freshman year, he turned my game to another level. The first day I got to practice and during the season, like, I felt myself getting better. So, yeah, so when I hit the portal, I was like, there's nowhere else to go but LSU because he was over there. So it was no point. And then he had good connection with my parents and everything. We was already locked in like family, so it was no other choice for real.
What was that like, the connection with you said like the connection with your family?
Yeah, it was perfect. Like some days he would not, like, at the recruitment process in Florida, like, he'll just talk to them, like he just talk to my dad like that's his best friend or something like that. So that's what really hit my heart. Like, dang, this coach really care about me. So I was like, yeah, we locked in for life.
Jakeem Jackson, LSU cornerbacks in studio with us. Remember also your year at Florida, like you got hurt early, right? Was it the first game? Was it the game against?
The second one.
The second game is when you got hurt.
Yeah.
So I mean, you were out there. The first game was Miami, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that was like it's a massive game down in Gainesville, and then the second, and you're playing in that game, and then you get hurt week 2. Walk me through what that year was like for you, man, having an injury like that when you knew you were going to be a big impact guy from jump.
Yeah, it was a very bad experience. You know, like my mental was down a little bit. You know, I had to check in on my family. They had to make sure I was good, but I already knew like that year was gonna be my year. Or I put my name really out there because, you know, I felt like I got like bigger, stronger, faster that my freshman offseason. So I just knew that year was the year. So, yeah.
Whenever when the season ended, obviously Corey came back to LSU. You go in the portal, you end up at LSU. What was your first year in Baton Rouge like? The last season, how would you characterize how that season was for you?
I had a similar deal with my sophomore year. I got hurt like the week we played Clemson. I messed up my hamstring bad. So coach really sat me out for like half of the season because he didn't want me to rush back and then get hurt again. I really thank him for that because, you know, you already know what it's like, and he didn't want me down and everything. So I started back getting my groove, like Texas A&M. That's when I like my first game back, and then from there I was gradually getting in the groove. Then Western Kentucky was like the first game I actually like got to really, you know, showcase my talents. And who else you played? Houston too.
Yeah, in the bowl game.
So it's just really about, you know, getting your body right and just taking care of yourself so you could, you know, do great on the field.
Did you get hurt? Did you hurt your hamstring in the indoor?
Yeah, we was doing one-on-ones.
I remember it.
Yeah.
I remember because we were in there watching that day.
Yeah.
And you kind of came up and you came up a little limp.
Yeah.
So that's when that happened. Was before Clemson.
It was right before Clemson.
Yep.
Yeah.
Man. Jakeem Jackson's hanging out in studio with us. We're glad to have you in studio hanging out too. So, I mean, did you after the season consider it all going back in the portal and leaving LSU?
Nah, it was really no point for real. Like I said, it was just about, you know, taking care of your body, stretching, getting stronger, like lower body wise. So that's all it was about.
Yeah, I think not even necessarily because of your injury, but just like because there was, Corey was obviously still here, but there was a coaching change. And I mean, right, the NCAA rules, like there's a coaching change, guys can go in the portal, you have your 15-day window or whatever it is. So, like, I think it would have been natural to assume, coaching change. It's typically when that happens for a lot of guys. Was it more about playing for Corey or more about being in the right spot at LSU? Like, what all went into that decision to stay?
Yeah, it was just like about Corey, Blake Baker. We had a solid defense last year. So, and then I wanted to play in the same scheme. I like the scheme that we was in last year. And then when I found out the two would stand, then we was all good.
What'd you like about the scheme?
They put you in, like, predicaments, to make plays, corner blitzes. We run a lot of man. We run a lot of cover two disguises to confuse the quarterback and everything. It's just a bunch of different stuff. Coach have you in the right place to make a play.
Yeah. You it's totally hypothetical, but like if Blake Baker, no, you're good, man. Got the ringtone on. If Blake Baker had taken that Tulane job, do you think you still would have stayed?
Yeah, I would have.
Yeah.
Coach Raymond was there. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would have stayed.
Hey, you talked about it a little bit, Jakeem, but like, what is it about Corey that makes guys so loyal to him and want to play for him so badly?
Yeah, he just I don't know. You just gotta be around it to see, like, he'll check up on you randomly, he'll text you. We'll have dinners at his house. We'll go out to eat. We'll go bowling and stuff like that. It's just like, then he give you all the tools to become great. Like this all season, we used to go to yoga every Saturday, and then we used to like bond with each other. We used to what else we used to do? Pickleballing. We used to train all together, all the corners. Like he always like have the room like all in one, so we all get close.
You like yoga?
Yeah, I like it, and we used to do Pilates too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You like pickleball?
Yeah, it's straight. Yeah, it's straight.
So apparently, Kiffin's like the big pickleball guy.
Yeah, I just seen the video today.
You haven't played with him yet?
Nah, not yet.
So he goes over to court to table like all the time and plays. Yeah. And apparently there's like a guy. See, this is what I've learned about him. Super competitive. Apparently there's like a guy that's like a pickleball, like a professional pickleball player that he gets to be his partner when he plays doubles, so he knows he's going to win. Because he's a good athlete too, right? I mean, the guy was a college quarterback. And he's out there with like a professional pickle. So don't go out there and play against him, Jakeem, if he's got the other dude with him. Yeah, because he's stacking the deck against you.
Yeah, for sure.
or go be on his team is maybe what you got to do.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
Yeah, I
like
got
he's pretty cutthroat. It seems like one to win all the time. Jakeem Jackson's hanging out in the studio with us. Let me do this moment. Knock out a quick break. We're going to come back. We're going to finish up the hour with you. Got about 10 more minutes?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. We appreciate it. Jakeem Jackson, LSU cornerbacks in studio with us. Stick around. It's AFR.
AFR.
Get Gordon and get it done. Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. If you've been injured in an accident, it's not your fault. Do what injured people in our state have done for 3 decades. Get Gordon and get it done. And big shout out to Gordon as they have announced the annual Gordon Gives laptop giveaway. So every year around graduation, Gordon and his staff give away laptops or MacBooks to graduating seniors in Louisiana. If you're interested, go to gordonsgrads.com. Go to gordonsgrads.com. Go to gordonsgrads.com. That's the website where you can fill out the entry form if you want to learn more. So if you know someone that's graduating from high school and going to college, trade school, go to gordonsgrads.com to enter to win one of those MacBooks or Chromebooks or laptops, sort of as a help and a jumpstart into the next phase of your life. Again, go to gordonsgrads.com. It's Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. You know what to do. Get Gordon and get it done.
After further review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
Ooh, baby, do you know that's worth? Ooh, heaven is a place on earth. They say in heaven, love comes first. We'll make heaven our place on earth.
No, dude. He doesn't play stuff like this. He literally played this today at practice. Jakeem Jackson's in studio with us. We had a conversation there during the break about the playlist at practice. So you mean you're not feeling Belinda Carlisle?
No. No. That done trash.
All right. Will anybody challenge him to change up the playlist?
I mean, if we all go as one and tell him, he probably will.
I don't know, dude. Jakeem, I get the sense that like Lane don't care. Like it's his playlist. He's gonna play what he wants.
Yeah, and the crazy part is the same songs each period. Like for instance, 707. Every time we do 707, it's a Lady Gaga song. It's like it's stuff like that. You feel me? Yeah. Period, Taylor Swift is the same one every day.
Do y'all like having music at practice?
Yeah, we do. The kid was, amped up, like turned up, fired up.
It's good energy, but also like I think kind of simulating like crowd noise and stuff. It's gonna be loud in the stadium when you're playing a game. Dude, it's just so funny. Like I don't mind. Just on a personal taste level, like I don't mind some of the stuff he plays, but I'm just thinking these 20-year-old football players cannot be. Cannot be.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna be interested to see if y'all do sort of get together and go have a convo. Yeah. Do you think it's gonna take like a little while, like a little more getting used to before someone will go ask him, or do you need to get like Whit to go ask him?
Yeah, probably Whit. Probably for sure.
Whit
probably
could ask him.
Yeah,
but if Whit got the aux cord, what's Whit playing?
Oh, I don't even know. I mean, Whit plays some young boy a little bit. He surprised me with that.
All right.
I don't know who he'll play though for sure.
All right, if Jakeem gets the aux cord, what are we playing?
I'm playing Lil Baby, Young Boy, Raw Wave. I'm playing all the little rappers. Bossman D-Lo. I'm playing all the rappers.
That would feel a little more appropriate for a football practice with a bunch of young guys. That would,
yeah.
Hey man, what do you think? Like, it's only 4 practices in, but like, how do you think it's going so far through 4 practices?
Now it's going good. Iron sharp iron. Like some days, I feel like we won like the past 3 days. Oh my bad.
You good, man?
I feel like we won the last 3 days. So I feel like we both getting better, like offense and the defense. So it's going very good right now.
You know what's a bunch of us talk about this, like the media that gets to go out there and watch a little bit. When we go watch the offense or whatever, and you go watch the receivers, I have to have a roster.
Yeah.
Because everybody's new. Mm-hmm. Like, we're learning all these guys. So, from your perspective, when y'all go to team periods, which we don't get to see, who who do you think is standing out so far among the receivers so far? Like, or who do you get matched up against the most?
The only receiver, probably Jackson, number 4.
Yeah.
He gave me some good work. Jace Brown, Trey Brown, probably Malik, number 88. The boys give you good work for real.
Who's the who's the fastest receiver?
I say Jace, probably Jace.
Okay.
Yeah, it's different from last year.
What do you mean it's different from last year?
Like last year, it was like a track meet. I practiced every day.
Yeah.
This year, it's like you could run with him.
Who's best at so far? You think of like changing direction?
Jace.
Okay.
So
what about hands?
Hands.
From what you've seen,
I say probably Malik, number 88. He a big body receiver. He kind of strong. He got good strong hands. Make a lot of contested catches.
They you think that group looks pretty good so far?
Yeah, they coming along real good. They just got to keep working. You know what I'm saying?
Let me ask you about a guy in your position group who we're getting to see for the first time is Haven Finney, right? I mean, it's a freshman who's reclassed and an early enrollee. So he's 4. This guy should be a junior right now in high school, right? Yeah. So he reclassed. So he was going to be a 27 guy, reclassed at 26, and graduated early. So he should be in like the spring semester of his junior year.
Yeah.
So like that's a young guy, 4 practices in. What do you think of him so far?
Nah, he coming along real good. That's my boy. He still developing, but he gonna be a very good player. He been making a lot of plays so far, and we are glad that he a part of our room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about what's it like having so many new teammates, right? Because you had 40 guys in the portal, 20 guys in the high school class. There's so much turnover. Like we know it's hard to keep up with. What's it like for you?
It's a good feeling, good opportunity to meet new people, grow connection with them and grow a brotherhood. So yeah, it's good to have new people and feel out their vibe and see who he is as a person.
I want to ask you about the quarterbacks too, because you got to go defend against them, right? You're guarding receivers and his quarterback's throwing against you. So I'm asking you about each of them, and just give me, if you would, a thought. And I guess you don't get to go against Sam Levitt, right? Because he's not doing team stuff right now.
Yeah, but I think he throwed on one-on-ones, but
so the one-on-ones, okay. Yeah. We don't get to see that though, but he's not doing 11 on 11.
Nah.
So what do you think of Sam Levitt so far?
Nah, I feel like he good. He throw good balls, like one-on-ones today. He threw a good ball on me. Back shoulders, over the shoulders, like. When they run curl routes, he throw it like on the outside of them for only the receiver to catch it. So he got a pretty good arm.
What about Husan?
Husan? Oh yeah, he throw it. He could throw, like he could launch it for real. He can run.
He's got a weird delivery though, right?
Yeah.
The first time I saw him throw was at practice, and he's kind of got that 3/4 thing. But boy, he gets out quick.
He do side arms and yeah.
What about Landon Clark?
Him too. He can run. He run fast. He do side arms, no look passes. They all got good arms for real. They could throw for real.
So when we were out there, we got to watch that first. What do y'all call it? Like that first period when y'all come outside and it's the first offense, first defense, and y'all are going fast, right?
It's called Fast 6.
So Fast 6, 6 plays.
6 plays.
Okay, it makes sense. Okay, because I charted the 6 plays today. One of the play, I think it was the second play. Landon scrambled a little bit. Like he was good coverage and he stepped up and darted left. And I think he probably would have gone 70 yards on that play if there was if they weren't trying to hurry up and get to the next play. Do you know what happened on that play?
I don't know. I think it was
you were on the other side.
That
of the
was on
field.
the other side.
Yeah,
I just seen him take off. I'm like, dang,
dude, he was gone, bro.
He can run too. He fast.
Surprisingly
fast,
and I haven't seen him play, so I don't mean for that to sound insulting. Like I would think he would be slow, but you don't think of a quarterback being someone with wheels that's just going to jet and take off like that and hit that gear. We got about a minute or so. What else is going on with you, man? I know it's season and it's school, but what else are you into? What else you got going on?
Like in my life? Or
yeah, man. Got NIL stuff going on or anything that you need to talk about? Any businesses or any partnerships or anything?
Dang, that's a good question. Now I just been, focused on the importance, like my mom say, taking care of my body. That's really the main part of this year that I'm going to be on top of. Like, health is wealth. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man.
So, yeah, that's the only thing I'm really focused on right now.
Well, dude, we wish you good health, man.
Yes,
I know you had some injury luck the last couple of seasons, man, but it was great to see you out there running with the ones today, and looking forward to a really good season with the Tigers, and good success here for the rest of spring practice, man. Jakeem Jackson, thank you for coming in studio, man.
Appreciate it,
Yeah,
man.
it's our pleasure. All right, it's after further review. We're going to knock out, quick break, get to Sports Center here at the top of the hour. Appreciate Jakeem for coming in. When we come back, Lane Kiffin did meet with reporters after practice today. We'll let you hear a little more of what Lane had to say. A new mock draft is out for 2026. We'll get to that in a bit, and also preview LSU Southern from Out at the Box. It's a Tuesday edition of AFR. We're powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. Hour 3 is coming up right after Sports Center, so stick around with us here on a Tuesday edition of AFR.
AFR.
Take 60 seconds to remind you about Shaw Bill's Tire and Auto Service, ShawBillsTire.com, ShawBillsTire.com with locations all over South Louisiana. You know where to find them, ShawBillsTire.com. You can find that location nearest you at ShawBillsTire.com. So go to ShawBillsTire.com. And remember, our friends over at Shaw Bills are going to take great care of you as always. So get to the website if you want to schedule service. You can do that online. Get to the website if you want to shop tires. You can do that as well. It's Shaw Bill's Tire and Auto Service. So make sure that you get on by Shaw Bills. Listen, if you need that oil change, you need your tires rotated, they can help with anything you have going on your vehicle. If you need to get that thing right, especially here for a lot of people, maybe with Easter weekend ahead, if you're going to be hitting the road, you need to get something taken care of with your vehicle, they can help you over at Shaw Bills. So schedule service online, shop tires online. They're going to sell you name brand tires at wholesale prices. It's Shaw Bills Tire and Auto Service, ShawBillsTire.com. Shaw Bills, where we keep you rolling.